Hey everyone, today I'm gonna show you some of the brushes that I use to create some of the pictures I made. Um, this one was made entirely with a blocky roller brush that I modified from the default Infinite Painter brushes. Um, People have been requesting for me to let them know what kind of brushes I use a lot, and somebody specifically asked me to do a video, so I figured I'd show you what I use right now. So this is what I mainly use most of the time. It is the same brush as the roller brush in the paint section here, right over there, and then I have two different textures of it, one with no texture and one with a lot. This is the default clay roller brush there, and I just copy that and modify it and make a new brush out of it. But it's essentially the same thing here. I just add pressure, and the main one I use has no texture on it. I'm gonna let you guys see the settings here, so if you want to pause and look at it, go ahead, and then you can copy it over to your program. And you can see here that the head shape is that same blocky square head that the roller brush comes with automatically. Don't change any of that. Literally the only thing I changed was the pressure and the shape of how it applies itself. And make sure all those settings there are off. You'll see they'll be grayed out, not red. And you'll see here, make sure your shapes look like that, and those options are entered in red to show that they're selected. And these settings here are important if you want to use any kind of modified brush. Those are the mix in and dilution options and the blending options. That determines how things blend, and you'll see there it says sample lower layers. That makes it so that it samples the layers below it and blends the colors from those two. And that last special option, everything's going to be turned off. Now I'll just quickly demonstrate how the brushes work. You'll see now that the pressure is enabled, it goes lighter and darker depending on how heavy or light you press it. And I also like to set that brush as my eraser as well, if I'm using that brush to paint with, because it gives it the same kind of feel when you're removing color. But it's very useful to use the clay roller with pressure now, because you can make it with more fine detailed lines. And you'll see that it's pretty good with blending. It's kind of a smudgy blend, and it's not too much, because then I can take the blended areas and sample the colors and blend it even more. I don't like things to be like too smudgy, but just a little bit is nice. You can see how it operates here. And here's just a few quick demonstrations of how I use this brush. You see I use it for the sketch layer sometimes as well, just shrinking the size of it very small. And this is an example of how I use it in a black and white grayscale format. I just color select and pick back and forth and blend back and forth. The lighter that you press on the tablet screen with the settings that I have applied for my specific tablet, the more that the color will blend, and the less that you will put actual color down, if that makes sense. And here's just a quick demonstration of that same brush, but with color. Blending together weird colors is never going to look right. You just kind of have to figure it out as you go, and the undo button is your friend. But I like messing around with wacky colors with this brush. Basically, this shows that you can use this for anything, and the blending doesn't get in the way too much as long as you don't go overboard. That's why I have it set so that the lighter that you press, the more it blends. Or at least that's just kind of what it seems to be. I'm not really sure if I messed with it too much from the canvas roller brush. It might have just been like that already. It's been so long since I made the brush. This is just what I've been using, and I figured I'd document it anyway. And like I said, people were asking. Anyway, I just sketched up a quick crazy colored dragon head to demonstrate how this one works. And here's a drawing I just did of Tatiana from the band Ginger in black and white. And this is done with two different brushes, mainly just the one. The small one here is what I used for the sketch. And that's because it gives me a little bit of a finer line to work with. And I think I did sometimes go back and use that for finer details. And these are the settings, so I'll let you look at those. And again, if you need to pause, just do so. And like I said, that was the fine detail brush. So this is going to be the larger blending brush that I use to blend most of the colors together. So the main painting brush that I used for this picture. The reason I used different brushes for this painting rather than that big blocky canvas roller brush that I showed you initially is just so that I could get more of a smooth digital art recreation of a photograph kind of effect. Still kind of painted, still kind of blendy and brushy, but not as much, more refined and more clean. And you'll see that the heads on these two brushes are round, and that will help with that clean look. And you'll see there's no texture on that. And basically together, these three brushes are all I use for all of my paintings that I make in Infinite Painter. And if you guys are interested in seeing how I made this drawing, please check out my most recent video on my channel. There you'll be able to see the whole process of how it's done. And please, as always, if you haven't, subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. Thanks for watching.